Yo, what is happening, my fellow party people? This is the very first episode of the MRL Fastlane, a weekly show that is going to be just taking apart and looking at the events that has happened in the Millennium Racing League. And of course, since this is the inaugural episode, and we have not started, a certain thing I'm going to be talking about here in a little bit. We have not started that yet. We are going to be talking about what happened last week in MRL Cup. So we're going to look at, this is the video that we had right here. This is race number 6 at Charlotte. And I'll tell you what, a lot of this happened, a lot of good things happened today. We had a total of 20 racers, but one of them was not able to show up. Who submitted a time, and we're going to look at the qualifying stats right now. So pole was Bassbuck. He was fast the entire day. Bass had easily the car to beat, but you may notice that a person that was not up there, that is usually in the mix of it, right here, Xander, RS Meatwagon, he was not able to even submit a time, and then because of that, he was not even able to make the race. And we have a rule here in Millennium Racing League that if you submit a time, you can get last place points. Meaning, since there was 20 people here, myself not included, so like I'm technically in this lobby, but I wasn't racing. 20 people raced, meaning he'll get 21st place points. He was not able to make it. So because of that, everyone that did race behind him essentially got to move up. So Basswick was on pole. Cyber was P2. Agent Orange, Nathan had his best qualifying effort of the season in P3, and that rounded out the podium qualifying spots. Brandon here in the 17 started P4. And this is actually also tying his best qualifying spot as well. BD in P5. BS is a new guy. BS 14 cars. You may recognize the name from another league called Fastlane Racing League. Definitely check them out. Our friends over there are lovely individuals. But you may recognize him from that league. And this was his first race, and that's going to be a recurring thing here. We had a number of first-timers here. BS was one of them. He had a good qualifying spot in P6. Cade right here is starting P7. UK Wildcats, in race, he goes by Mo Power Cat. I think I scroll down to kind of show. Yeah, right there. Oh, you just saw it there for a quick second. Mo Power Cat. He was starting P8. Tansby Vegas, this is his third race with us now. This is Liam. His first race was in Watkins Glen. That was P9. US Trek Enterprise, also known as Goose, rounding out the top 10. And then T-Bird, who has been fast, but one thing I've been noticing and what I'm going to be talking about later on is what the drivers can do to kind of set themselves up. T-Bird has lovely race pace, but his qualifying pace, like right here, like is 0.25 seconds off, an entire quarter of a second off. Definitely, I mean, it works in the race, and we have a saying here that it's not about where you start, but it's about where you finish. But T-Bird is, in qualifying pace, he is definitely on the lower end, but much like all these guys, like Packers, as we're going to get to him, he purposely does not submit a time. So if you don't actually want to submit a time, you don't have to. The safety net of submitting a time is to get last place points. So as long as you actually make the race, you don't have to worry about it. But then Pipe Piper here started P12, and then Worst Cow was that person that did not show up, but since he submitted a time, he got 21st place points. Rockstar here started, Packers started, Jagger right here, Angels fan started, P. Colligator started, Justin Shackett, and then going on down here, we have actually 3 new people. One was a last minute entry, Blakey T. NRG, and there should be one more like right down here, starting in very last. Mopowa D Smith, 1, 2, 3 started their first ever race here, and of course it's at the longest mileage race at Charlotte for the Coke 300. So yeah, that was the qualifying order. Bass started a lovely show here. We were on board with D Smith as we were going on through. You can see just kind of finding their feet here on board with Pied Piper. But if you see in the background, Bass had a lovely lead. Him and Cyber were hands down the cars to beat. You can see them right up there. They're right here in that little segment right here. But then you have other drivers like Agent Orange. Like when they started lifting, actually getting together and working together. This is Agent Orange and then BD Deadman coming out of their first pit stops. You could actually find that they had a really good pace, and when they got linked up, they were actually just as fast, and maybe even faster than the cars in front. But yeah, the race was very long. You could tell it had a toll on them. Rockstar eventually, even though you see him fighting for the lead right now, he had a pit road speeding penalty and eventually had to retire. I think this is actually it right here. You can see him on pit road. We were on board with Justin Shackett, seeing if BD also had to retire right here. Something came up, and we always say that life comes first. When life calls, you gotta answer, and at the end of the day, that's unfortunately what took him out of the race. But you see Pied Piper coming on out of pit road right now. Agent Orange right there, still pitting. Oh, I think you saw it right there in the background. I'm going to kind of rewind it just for a hot second. And come on, right there. Yep, that's Rockstar right there. He had to retire out of this race. D. Smith had to retire. Going all the way through, I think it was right about here, maybe? I think so. Yeah, you even see Chicken Eater in the background. He got a penalty. And he did, unfortunately, had to retire from that. There was a really particular instance where, right here, you actually had this weird battle between two lap cars and then two of the leaders. So right here you see as I jump away from that, right here, BS 14 cars and then Pied Piper right here. These are battling for position, and these are the lead lap cars. There was a particular instance where the leaders just, it's frustrating when the lappers just don't seem to get out of your way. But, keep in mind, this is like one of those instances where they were actually battling for position. And by just getting out of the way, they would lose a position, and that's just not the racer mentality. So, yeah, it's frustrating, but people have to understand that, they're also racing for something as well. So eventually, it sucks that, not everything goes the way that you want it to, but it's racing at the end of the day. Ultimately, you see Goose ended up lagging out. He ended up joining the party. Bass just was on his own plane of existence that day. And as we just kind of close on down the laps, eventually Bass ends up winning the race. And we're going to go to the results right now. Bass won hands down by leading a lap. 175 is technically what you get for winning, but you get 5 bonus points for leading a lap. Cyber P2, Packers starting all the way back here. All the way back here. To finish another podium. UK Wildcats, Mopowa Cat, finishing P4. T-Bird, again, showing up in race pace. He's always one person to look out for. I'm telling you that right now. Like I said, Maine is not the best in qualifying. He's very down on himself for qualifying. But he is definitely there for race pace. Blakey T, first race, almost a top 5. He was actually very, very close on getting it there. Brandon B. Racing had a pit road speeding penalty. That's another thing. My guy, Oh, he gets on himself so much that out of the 6 races so far, he's had 4 out of the 6 with a pit road speeding penalty, and because of that, it's been hurting him in points a little bit. Still, he's getting good results out of it, but they could be better, and he knows it, which is something that he's trying to work on, and I hope to see him improved in the future. Nathan Agent Orange got kicked out of the draft and actually had a spin, which put him deep in the pack, and he actually rallied back to a lovely top 10. Justin Shack could hover around the top 10 most of the day, put in a very good showing, kind of kept to himself, minded his P's and Q's. Piper, I feel like if we had a driver of the day, if it wasn't for like Blakey T-Bird, or Packers, Piper experienced everything. He was up front, I think, to as highest as like 4th or 5th, and then he was all the way back here to like 18th, 19th, 20th, and then he rallied back for a top 10. That never give up attitude is what MRL is all about. BS 14 cars, he had a very solid performance, hanging around like 6th and 7th most of the day. Unfortunately, I don't know if it was a spin. It was never actually quite answered, but only one caution throughout the entire race, and that was in the very beginning when just ping pong happened, going on and kind of bouncing off each other in the front stretch. BS, I think, may have had a pit road speeding penalty. It was either that or a spin. One car spin that didn't bring out the yellow, but he was running like 6th and 7th most of the day and ended up finishing P11, which sucks, but that was his first race, and he will definitely rally back. P. Colligator, finishing P12. Jagger in 13th. Liam, he did his best. If I can go back here, I wonder if I caught it, but Liam ended up getting shunted down a pit road, and it kind of took him out of contention. I want to say it was like right about... Yeah, this is him coming off of pit road right here. So he got shunted down on pit road, and that's what just kind of set him behind the 8th ball, because he had to do an extra pit stop, and he rallied back to a good P14, but ultimately, I mean, we wonder what could have been. Goose, this is now the start of the DNFs. Goose lagged out. Rockstar had to back on out. D. Smith lagged out. BD had to leave. Energy left. Cade left. And then Worst Cod here in 21st, getting last place points. That's what that is. All right. But then as we go to the points, we see some big shakeups. Cyber keeps his point lead. With Xander not showing up, not even getting last place points, look at that drop. It sucks. It sucks to see because, when life gets in the way, crap happens, but I never actually imagined when I tally this up he would lose 8 positions. But he's a fast guy. I know he can make it up. But that actually brings about the now quote-unquote battle for 2. Battle for 2 now. Bass has taken over P2 here. Gained 3 whole spots. Brandon, with his P7 performance here, was able to gain 1 spot into P3. Only 2 points ahead of UK Wildcats. It's actually a very close battle. BD, unfortunately, with him leaving, still is in the top 5 in points, but still went from 3rd to 5th. Packers gaining even more spots. He's consistently one of the people to look out for. Doesn't qualify purposely. He told me he doesn't want to qualify, but he is there. Rockstar holds his position. Piper gains 1 with that never give up attitude. Goose unfortunately lost a spot because of Piper. And then Xander here rounding out the top 10 in points. Agent Orange, aka Nathan, moves up a spot here in 11th. With his lovely performance in P8. He was actually down on himself because he knows he could have been better. Cade lost a spot because of Nathan's performance. And then Worst Cod, despite getting last place points, gains 2 spots because Bush fan and Napa fan did not show up. But that actually leads me to another thing. You can see this gap now. And what I'm calling this is you have the top 12, and then you have 13th on back. These are the guys. These guys showing week in, week out. And then down here, these are the guys that, like get last place points, life gets in the way, or, just something like that happens. So, one thing I'm going to point out here is that, you don't want to look at the deficit so much. You want to look at the stats that come with it, which is right here. These guys, most of these guys down here, are the ones that are going to show up week in, week out, or either had their first race. So you have... right down here, you have Jagger, Angels fan. He definitely needs he needs a bit of a boost. He's been really down on himself, and things have been going on privately, which thoughts and prayers with him. But he needs that confidence boost, and getting that one spot definitely, I feel like, is a step in that right direction. Pete Cole, Justin Shack, and T-Bird, these three are the ones that you got to look out for, because even though they're 17th, 18th, and 19th respectively in points, give it time. We're still 1/3 of the way through the season. They are coming. I can definitely expect them to be like top 5 in points by the time the season ends. So don't count them out. They're not done yet. You have Liam down here, this is only his 3rd race, like I said, gained 2 points right there. You have Blake T, 1st race. And right from 24th on, these are the guys that either have raced only 1 race or have raced only, or not, which is like these 3 down here. So, Blake T having the best performance out of any of the first racers. Lovely job there in P6. Like I said, almost a top 5. But he moves up 8 whole spots since this is his first race. Down here, BS14 cars, and down here 27th, and then D Smith and NRG in 29th and 30th respectively. Don't mind this. This is actually how I calculate this right here, so I just copy and paste it. But yeah, as we move to the driver stats, you actually see some interesting. This is how we're going to get into the power rankings for this week. I see... out of the 6 starts, like right here, how I calculate it is you have all the starts for these guys. You can tell who is people that have been here, the full-timers like BD, Cyber, even. This is his first race that Xander missed, but he would have been up there. Goose, Brandon, all of these guys. These stats right here for Cyber, this is championship winning tier. Like in real life, you back in the old format, Winston Cup format, which is what this is, you get the championship is usually won by around a 5th place finish or around that. Cyber has a 2.16, and how I calculate that is his lowest finish being 3rd at Watkins Glen and Phoenix, and 1 win to his credit. The other 3 have been P2s. That is dang good. Dang good. This is second only to Bass, who I think, and we're going to get to that later, is if he can put together the same amount of performances or the same performance that he did here at Charlotte, he may have something for Cyber. I'm just calling it right now. I'm going to call my shot, and we'll see. Packers, though, same thing. He started late and actually has one more race to Packers credit. However, what did Packers in right here is his finish has been slightly worse than Bass's. So, like, you have right here, and then of a 5th at Vegas, where Packers won. Phoenix was for Bass, where Packers finished 2nd. Dega, Bass did not enter, but Packers finished P3. But then right here, these 2 have been kind of what's been going on. And so the reason why he has more points is because of laps led. I think every time that Bass has raced, he's led a lap. Packers has not had that luxury. At Watkins Glen, he did not lead a lap for Packers right here. He did not lead a lap. I don't think he led a lap at Dago, so that could have been 5 extra bonus points. But it just shows that leading can mean positions, as we see right here. Whereas Backers has one more start than Bass, he has the luxury of being that much higher in points. And that also could mean, last place points as well, which is the benefit of putting in a time. But yeah, other than that, the people I'm looking at here is UK Wildcats. He has 2 last place races to his credit. But when he does race, his average finishes of 4.25. That is astounding. Like, that is championship numbers right here. All of these guys that I'm talking about right now have championship numbers to their finishes, which is so weird to look at, because you see like the average starts right here and how they differ so much from their finishes. Some are better, some are worse. So like right here with I'm just gonna shoot an example here. Right here, Cade, average start of 7.66, average finish of 11th. Flip that with Pete Cola with his average start of 14.66 with an average finish of 7th. It's insane to think about. It's not about where you start, it's about where you finish, but starting up front does increase your potential of finishing up front, and that's what I was talking about mostly with T-Bird's thing on here, because he gets on himself, like I said. But that's what I'm talking about like that. Anyway, so as we see these stats down here, we have the new guys right here with Blakey, 14 cars, D. Smith, and Energy. We should have an extra person coming in with Taddy, Aqua Taddy. You may know him from Giggity Cringe. I'm looking forward to it, honestly, to having him in here. But yeah, we have a new person coming in here, and hoping to see, maybe potentially shaking up the standings a little bit, like Justin Shackett. This is his 3rd race with us. Average start is 17th. Has only put in 1 time so far, but he's consistently a top 10. These are championship numbers, guys. It's just things just don't work on out. Some just some get up there, like you have consistent like top 3s. It's just a matter of getting up there. So like Xander right here is Vegas finish of 10th and Dega of 19th is what's setting him back. We're very competitive is what I'll say. But yeah, and that actually leads me to the power rankings. So as you see, the power rankings are looking at the stats for this week, and spoiler alert, now you know who's number 5. But Brandon, I'm looking at here, this is his 6th race with us. After 6 races, he has a 5 top 10s to his credit. Unfortunately, no top 5s or podiums, but literally what I said as well, his speeding on pit road is what does him in. But when he doesn't do it, which is right here at Watkins Glen, he didn't do it. And then he also didn't do it at Dega, but Dega's like a crapshoot. They're both solidly top 10s. And then Charlotte could have been his race, but he also had a speeding penalty, but he rallied back to P7. What could have been? And that way, because of that, I'm putting him in P5 for the power rankings. P4, I'm looking at Mo Powercat, aka UK Wildcats. Going back here, he has put in a time every single week. So he's a full-timer with us, and with 2 last place finishes, the times that he does start is 9.5, and his average finish is 4.25. And with his performances here, they've been astounding. They've yet to be outside of the top 10, with all of them being top 10s, but only one being narrowly squeaking on by from missing out on a top 5. UK was definitely the person to be, and I'm going to show you something a little bit here about definitely what kind of set him above, because this guy is a wheel man. Actually, no, I'm just going to say it right now. We had a clip submitted, and this is the clip of the week. How did he save that? How did he save that? He was there was someone to his inside right there with Pied Piper, and then it looks like Goose just got a little loose, kind of went on down, clobbered him, bounced off a Pied Piper, and then he saved it. How did he do that? That's why I think he deserves a little bit of extra love right there. And moving on to number 4 in the rankings. Number 3, Packers Dynasty. Like I said, his podium streak unfortunately came to an end. Not this week, but last week. He is right here. With a P5 at Watkins Glen. And if your worst finish of the season is a P5, you know you're having a pretty stellar season. He came in late, so he missed Auto Club, which I know is one of his better tracks. But he has 1 win to his credit, 4 podiums, 5 top 5s. Still has yet to finish outside the top 5. 5 top 10s. Since he doesn't put in a time, Packers. He's starting a average start of 13.4, but his average finish is 2.8, resulting in a P6 in points, 220 back, but he is on the way forward. Look for him in the top 5. Because of that, he has been a man on a mission, knowing that he has a fast car and long races does that. This is why I'm ranking him number 3. Number 2. Surprise! Our points leader is not number 1. I'm actually moving him down a little bit to P2 in the rankings. Yes, he's so far had a borderline flawless season with his 6 starts, 1 win, literally not finishing off the podium. His average start of 3.16 and average finish of 2.16. However, I'm seeing a little bit more potential from someone else in the rankings. I think for everyone in the field, I know they're going to like when I say this. I know Cyber probably won't. I think Cyber can be beat. It just is going to be taking time and race by race in order to kind of chip away at this 147 point gap. I think Cyber has a lot of competition, and he has a lot of eyes on him. He's a fantastic driver. There's no debating that. But I think Cyber can be beat, and I think the person to do it is actually number 1. Our last week's winner, Bass. He scored his first win of the season last week. Charlotte in absolutely dominating fashion. I believe, if I counted up correctly, he led like 143 laps of that race. It was insane. I know that's not Martin Truex numbers of leading 393, but that is dominating. And at the longest mileage race, that is 200 laps of perfection that you have to do. You cannot mess up because just having that long of a race just doesn't allow for that much error. So because of that, I'm looking at Bass's numbers right here. He's had 2 last place points races, but he has always submitted a time. He has 3 poles, consistently one of the top qualifiers. 1 win to his credit, 2 podiums, 4 top 5. So basically, whenever he does start, he does finish in the top 5 at least. And because of that, his average starts P4 and his finish is P3. I'm going to call it right now. I think Bass has something for Cyber. I think Xander has something for Cyber. We still have, 12 more races left in the season before season's end here. I think Bass, the GMI boys of Bass, Xander, Packers, even Brandon UK, BD, all of these guys, I think they have something for Cyber. It's going to take a little bit to get. They got to chip away at it, but I think it can happen, and that's why I'm putting Bass as number 1. I'm going to just check the recording. Okay, cool. So because of that, we have 2 dark horse picks. And I think we have... this actually took a lot of thought. So I'm kind of looking at the people that have been fast, but just have not really had luck go their way, and have been up there consistently. That's basically what a dark horse is. Because of that, I put Tansby Vegas, a.k.a. Liam, as the first dark horse pick. As we go to Kentucky, Kentucky has been Liam's one of his better tracks. I'm not saying the best, but if he can put together a complete race, he's raced there in other leagues before, and he's done very well. He will be looking for his first win, not just in this league, but period at Kentucky. But anything can happen. Because of that, he is down here in 21st in the standings. He's been on a roll, just moving up place by place, and looking at his stats, which is right here. This is his second race with us. Oh, Chris White could have been a third. I could have just made a mistake with that. Oh, nope. Yep, sorry. This is his second race with us. Average start of 5.5, but he's yet to finish outside the top 10. And I think because of that, he has momentum going forward. I know he's confident. He is a man on a mission right now. He wants to prove that, hey, I deserve to be up here. And I think he can potentially do that with Kentucky. Things don't need to go his way, but that's what a dark horse is. People to kind of keep in the back of your mind, but can show up on race day. But number one, I think, belongs to Pied Piper with Von Poon Racing. I think Piper put in a stellar performance. Like I said, he was everywhere in Charlotte. He was up front, he was in the back, and he still rallied back for a top 10. Piper, I think, missing out on Auto Club kind of hurts his points position right now, but he is still doing well. Consistently hovering around that top 10 area. Talladega, Super Speedways just suit him, and he had a stellar race there. But because of that, he's always the kind of guy to kind of keep in the back of your head. Especially as we move forward, because right now his consistency of just consecutive top 10 finishes have allowed him to get a P8 in standings, 242 back, and he's battling for the top 5 right here. He's only basically 40 points back from BD right now. So he's definitely someone to keep an eye out for Kentucky, and I think should things go his way, he can actually move on back. So that's because I'm putting him number 1 in the dark horse picks. So, like I said, that was the racing that we have had already. However, we're not done. We have the Xfinity stuff to talk about. Our first race is at Atlanta, and how this goes is I'm actually gonna show it up on Discord right now. We have our schedule. So our first first race is actually this weekend on the 13th and 14th. That is Sunday, Monday. Because of that, we have 2 lobbies to look at, and how they pick is right here in pick days. And our roster currently is this. So on Sundays and Mondays, we have a different set of lobbies. Here in the 98, this is for the Sunday division. BS14 cars driving the 98 Ford Performance Ford Mustang. B-Ride Racing taking over the 7, my personal favorite, not just car, but driver in the Xfinity series. He'll be racing and making his debut on Sunday. Country Caliber, he's a new guy. He's not actually racing in Cup, and he actually exclusively wants to race in Xfinity. He'll be joining us on Sundays here, driving the 19 Toyota Supra. Cyber, our current points leader in Cup, is taking over the 22 on Sundays. Justin Shackett, carrying on over his tradition and bringing on over to the 10 car. Liam is driving the 78. Nuka Bob is actually his schedule is not has not allowed him to race Cup, even though he wants to. He can race Cup should his schedule clear up, but right now Sundays and Mondays work out for him more, so he is racing the 9 on Sundays. You have a new guy, total new guy. This will be his first start with MRL here, and it's going to be Dylan. He's going to be driving the number 8 for Daniel Hemrick, and then we have T-Bird in the 21. Mopawa Cat, UK Wildcats, bringing in the 54, Toyota Supra with Twix, cookies, and cream. And I want you guys in the comments to say, are you a left Twix or are you a right Twix guy? There is a correct answer, so choose wisely. But he will be driving the 54. And then you have Casey XXIN2242. He technically is Cup eligible as well. However, his schedule was not clearing up, and because of that, he was not able to actually go with us here. And then right here as well, we have going into the Monday territory, we have D. Smith in the 1, or sorry, Baseball Kid 7899 in the 11, Blakey T in the 61. So carrying these guys over, Baseball is a part-timer with us here in the Cup division, but he will be making his full-time entry into Xfinity on Mondays. Blakey T making his first start, not just in Cup, but also Xfinity in consecutive weeks. Mopal D. Smith carrying over the tradition and bringing over to the 1. Mopal Mickey, a.k.a. I Spun Higgins, driving the 98. Jagger, Angels fan, bringing over the 44. Nathan, Agent Orange, in the 51. And then Aqua Tatty starting off in the 4. Worst Cod in the 7, and then Xander in the 9. So with that, we have a good set of rosters here, actually. I think we're going to be looking at a stellar field, is what should I say? I think a very competitive one. Atlanta's going to be a tough track, especially with tire wear. Depending on the amount of entries, we do have a rule in place that if there is less than 8 drivers, the percentage will be cut to 25. So depending on how many people show up, we could either be running 80 laps or 40 laps. So we're going to see. But let me know, you guys, how you think the races will turn on out. We're going to be at Kentucky for Cup on Sunday. I'm going to actually show you guys the schedule here. We're going to be at Kentucky here. And then for Xfinity, we're going to be at Atlanta. So let me know, who are your guys' picks. Atlanta could be anyone, but just we're going to find out. I think if I'm going to kind of shoot a guess, my preemptive pick for Sunday, I probably have Brandon B-Ray Racing in the 7. I think he's going to be the guy to beat at Atlanta. Atlanta's probably his best track on this game. I think he's going to be the guy to beat, but Country Caliber can be up there, T-Bird can be up there, Cyber can be up there. There's a lot of drivers that can be up here, but I guess we'll find out. Monday, though, could be anyone. My automatic guess is RS Meatwagon. However, Taddy's fast up there, Blakey T's fast, Nathan's fast, so there's a lot of people that can actually, win on their respective days. So we're going to see how that goes. But yeah, who are your guys' picks? I'm looking forward to this entire week, and I'm looking forward to doing another one of these episodes. So from Millennium Racing League, this is your host, Private Patton. Thank you so much for watching the episode 1 of MRL Fastlane, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.